Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video today. And sorry it's been so long since we've been in touch. So the reason why that I'm reaching out today is around, again, the transgender conversation. However, more specifically to the concerns from the previous videos. So the concerns were more so around the schools. So I want to clarify a few things for you guys based on the information that I've gathered. So January 24th, I had sent off an email to school district French and school district English. Uh, from the English side of things, I pretty well within a week or so got an email, and they basically said, thanks for sending the email. We will send this to the appropriate person. The week after, same thing, wrong person. They sent it to someone else. Anyways, a month goes by, and I've left emails, messages for people. Nobody's gotten back to me. Finally, I went into the school district office here in Moncton, and I talked to someone who then transferred me again to the original person that I was talking to. And finally, the email, and by the way, this was all done by email. Nobody ever wanted to contact me in person. And with the email that I did receive, as to a bunch of questions that I had in regards to the transgender for my kids and a peace of mind as a parent, I wasn't very satisfied. In the Anglo side of things, basically the first word of the reply, the first serious reply that I got back of my concerns of the information was, "We don't support discrimination." Of course, that's what everybody does. Oh, you're discriminating, even though that the first paragraph and what I sent in my email was, "I do not discriminate. This is not my purpose. I want answers for my kids because of privacy. And being that they're so young, I just want to make sure that their best interest is being looked after." So, anyhow, other than that first part that she was mentioning that I was or that they don't tolerate discrimination, which is fine. I completely agree. They shouldn't put up with discrimination. But it comes down to the law. So at the end of the day, the law, just like at the gym, you guys might have seen my videos. If not, just look back in this YouTube video, and you can actually go on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way. And also, if you click on my channel, you'll see all the other videos that I've done. But the other videos talked about the gym. And the gym, I found out that how that they work as a private business, that anybody who is of transgender and identifies as either a man or woman can basically go to whichever changing room or locker room or washroom that they choose to. And that's exactly how it works in the school system. It's no different. So if that the child or the kid decides that, you know, he was advised from his parents, or he believes that he is or she is the opposite of what you're biologically made, you can then enter that washroom. So basically, they're just saying that they just follow the rules that are there, and really any more information, you were to talk to the principal. So my kids specifically go to the francophone school, so I don't have a principal. But on a principal level, it's just it's such at a low local level that you won't get as much broad information as you would compared to talking to somebody above. And it seems to me that, and in the email as well, specifically to the anglophone, it says it depends. You got to speak to the principal because it depends on what school, because certain schools have services that others don't, but they're in the process to making it all equal. So that was the bulk of what was in the email from the schools. And the other question too, they wouldn't answer. They said that you would have to go through a bunch of other hoops to try to get to is when the education is right for the child at the age around this topic, and how in depth that we should go into with our kids in school about this topic. because unrelated to this scenario, my daughter had actually come home from school, and she this would have been probably roughly about a year ago, and she had this conversation in class about uh, people who are of not the homosexual, but are the are a girl but are a boy. That's how she described it to me, and it put me in an awkward kind of thrown position. I just explained to her based on my knowledge of it, which, you're a boy or you're a girl, and go from there. Then people can choose and basically don't discriminate, but there's some people that are what they are. And Yeah, so I just brought that up because, again, like, who chooses that? Who thinks that's right or not right? Or, you know, anyhow, so that's that. So for the francophone side of things, I was actually lucky, and I had a great conversation for about a half hour or so with one of the higher ups in the francophone side, and they also said it's based on a school to school side as far as what services are provided for dressing rooms and locker rooms. And the way that they position, it's not necessarily for the trans people as much as it is for trans people and people that aren't comfortable maybe getting changed or using the washroom and saying. So they're looking at actually putting. How did she use the words? I'm just translating it to you from French to English. She basically said that right now they're putting everything to the table to see how much this is going to be, so it can fit into the budget of what this is going to actually cost to renovate, modify, or build the either existing or new schools that are currently there. But I straight up said around the issue of, if my daughter decides to go into a changing room or a locker room, a washroom, whatever, and all of a sudden a person who looks like a boy comes walking in, and as far as my daughter's privacy, and also the potential discrimination, not just against my daughter. Now keep in mind, we're also talking, this is going to be super uncomfortable for the person that is of the trans community going into those facilities. So how do we make everybody happy? But it seems so far the only way to, first of all, they're going by the law that is now in place, which basically they can choose, the trans people and choose to go to the washroom that they identify as. But the other thing too is, at the end of the day, we got to figure out, is this going to cost? Is this a money thing? Because that's a whole other issue. Which, if at the end of the day we can get to a point where everybody's happy, then great. But sometimes I feel like the discrimination against one is also potentially discrimination against the other, and that's kind of where the issue is right now. And I'm trying to figure out how they're going to kind of have their cake and eat it too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The other thing too, she said that my concerns is going to go to the table as far as their meetings that they're having even more and more and more lately around that. About the changes and the monies and the expenditures and the facilities and the options that are going to be put in place to make everybody happy. So potentially third washrooms, different programs that are for people of the transgender community. But these are all things that are to come. She said, thanks for bringing this up. I will bring it into the meeting. Now is the time, she said, to bring these things up because they can voice it into their meetings before they actually put an action plan in and look at spending whichever amounts of money to make sure this whole thing works for everyone. So hopefully this was informative to everyone. Thanks again for your time, and feel free to send me a message if you have any other questions. Until the next time, have a great day.